Hello, folks. Welcome to the third day of Christmas 2019. And this is Fandango Friday, Christmas time edition. And we have myself from Louisiana. We have so far James P. Madonna from New Jersey. And I have two. I figured people were getting tired of seeing me do white rums on Fandango Friday. So I'll do those tomorrow morning for Dawn Buffers. But I've got two Canadian blended whiskeys. I've got one from 1968. Well, I mean, not this particular bottle, but the brand. It's called, it's called the.
Yeah, what's with the glare?
Well, I got the
Northern Lights.
Yeah, the Northern Lights.
Maybe the Northern Lights are coming right out of the label.
Yeah, just that I got that lamp on, and it's
the Abortus. Yeah.
But it's the Northern Lights, plus it's a white label, so it's more reflective. And I got a good deal on that one. And then I've got a competitor, which is a relatively, well, actually a very unknown product. I don't even think it's made anymore. It's called Heir to the Throne. And I don't know what throne it expects to inherit, but it's from a company called Rebel Spirits, and they got bought out, and they don't even have this. They never had this listed on the website, but I bought this for $15.65 at Walmart on closeout. The Northern Lights was only $9.99 at Winn-Dixie. So what do you have tonight?
Well, all I got to say is happy Fandango Friday, New Year's Eve countdown 2020. What I have here, I hope everyone had a good holiday. There's one more to go. But be safe. Don't get a designated driver like some Uber or Lyft sucker that decides to work that night. Don't drink and drive, people.
Right.
I have Kraken dark rum. All right. Black spiced rum. Release the Kraken. All right, that's what I have. And I also have what I call in Ronald J. Theriot and myself's favorite wine glass, what I call the old Italian geezer's homemade wine. Now, this is a man in his 90s that gives my brother-in-law homemade dark red wine every Christmas season. And I don't know who, I don't know where he's from or what his name is, but I just call it the old Italian geezer's homemade dark red wine. And it's as heavy duty as dark red wine can get, as long as he wasn't crushing the grapes with his feet like Lucille Ball did in that episode.
Right. Now we have the Whiskey Scout joining from Kansas. We have Thomas Meadows, 75, Eric.
Hello, everybody.
Now, the Kraken, from what I'm checking out, the trademark, it was first used in August of 2009, so it's been on the market 10 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean,
I'll be trying to post comments.
There's a lot of info on here.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a spiced rum. I didn't even buy it. It looks so. I've had it before. I just they have a website, krakenrum.com, and it's a bottle by Kraken Rum Company, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Are you both doing a rum? You and Ron?
I'm going to do whiskey, but he's going to do rum because I figured people were tired of seeing me do rum.
Okay, I gotta say, if you were both doing rum, I'd go get a rum and do it too. But
35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof, 35%, and then of course you read when I showed a calamari because I love calamari.
That's a lot of money, FACP. That's a lot of money, FACP monitoring. Hey, now the Kraken is owned by a company called Proximo Spirits. Proximo Spirits. Now, yeah, Proximo, Proximo, Proximo. Now, the Whiskey Scout's going to tell us what he has tonight.
I am Gonna do the George Dickel Tabasco barrel finish. I've actually had it before at the distillery. So I got a little 50 here. I got a couple of these extra I brought home, but it's a good chance to do one of them.
That's just as funny as George Disco.
35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof. Handcrafted small batch, made in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
It's bad. I tried that last year at John and Neil A's house. It was interesting, but I didn't care for it much. Okay, so Thomas Meadow has a certain item.
Yeah, I'm gonna do from Revolution Brewing Company, beer, by the way. Revolution Brewing Company in Chicago, Illinois. This is their Death Star. This is their stout aged in bourbon barrels in American oak barrels for 12 months. And this is a 14.8% alcohol by volume Imperial Stout. Woo. And look at the cool black top on that can. Yeah.
Now, James is going to describe the Kraken first to us.
Oh, okay. I was going to try bring up the website, but I don't think there's any more information to tell on it, really. I think
well, marketing, I bet.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to try. I had it before, so I know what to expect. I know how much your viewers love the shot glass, so I just want to give them some cleavage. All right, here you go. For New Year's Eve, bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. I got the pirate shot glass. It's definitely has spiced and a potent molasses aroma.
I've never had it.
It has been in the freezer. It definitely has a heavy spiced and molasses flavor also, and it's a full-bodied mouthfeel. It's exactly what you would expect from this type of rum. When you see the words black and black and spiced, just like if you see the word añejo is extra aged, you know to expect the smoothness from that rum. But this is very, like fresh sugarcane juice, molasses. I had this with the eggnog, like I made last week, putting the nutmeg and cinnamon on the bottom and the rum first, then the eggnog glass. And then my brother-in-law took out a Johnny Walker Black, and I just decided, because I was so buzzed, to pour both of them in there, and it was an interesting combination. But as far as this goes, as far as rums go in general, this is one of the best. Now, Cruzan makes a black rum very similar to Kraken, not a spiced black rum, but a black rum just the same. And the one from Bermuda, there's a Black Navy rum. It's got a seal. I think it has a seal on the label. Anyway.
Gosling's.
Who?
Gosling's is the one that uses the seal on the label.
I think.
Yeah, Gosling's Black Seal.
Yeah, that's it. But the Cruzan, which when I tell the liquor store owners about Cruzan being the best bang for the buck in rums, they look at me like I'm from the Andromeda galaxy. I said, yeah, Cruzan, yeah, the Virgin Islands. I think you were telling me Captain Morgan is bottled there now too. Or is it one of the Bacardi?
Croix, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Drinking some natties. I suppose he's drinking natty ice, but he could be drinking natural light.
Slight sweetness to be expected because of the nature of black rum. Slight, not a liqueur sweetness, just a hint. All right, now
Shane's drinking a Boulevard Black. berry black sour. Wow.
Now, what I was telling Ronald J. Ron DiTirio is that this is a mystery red wine because I call it the Old Italian Geezer's homemade red wine because it's made every year by a guy in his 90s, an old Italian geezer that makes the wine at home, and he gives it to my brother-in-law around this time of year, and he's still alive, and so and thus the wine supply comes every December. It's very potent, dark red wine. Don't ask me any of the details. Like I said, I don't know if this old man takes his moldy feet and squashes the grapes with it. You know, toe cheese and all, but it's pretty potent red wine. So that's what I have for holiday fandangoing.
Okay. Now I am going to present the Northern Lights is
You are not. Oh, there you are.
give me a chance. The Northern Lights is well, these days it's a Sazerac brand, but it's been passed around over the years. It started as Glenmore apparently. Then somehow it got to be Hiram Walker. Then Hiram Walker got loose of it, and it became somewhere down the line Barton, and now Barton is owned by Sazerac. So now it's Sazerac. So it's been I was making a joke. I'll say it got passed around more than Michelle Phillips, but that was a bad joke. Now,
oh yeah, you probably need a 2x4 strapped to your ass.
So, and then the heir to the throne says matured in oak casks, but it's not a remarkable statement because all Canadian whiskey is matured in oak casks. So they're just telling you what
You ought to know, right?
Yeah, it's just, but the average consumer might not realize that, so they might say, "Oh, this one's matured in oak casks," unlike like all the other Canadian whiskeys, which are matured in oak casks. It says ultra smooth blended Canadian whiskey, product of Canada. They're both 40 proof. It's like really playing up the royal heritage of Canada with a crown, swords, eagles, griffins. It's imported by Rebel Spirits of Gardena, California. However, that company was bought out. So anyway, the appearance. And by the way, I never could find anything about Heir to the Throne. I was the only person in the world that ever did a video for it. It's such as the nature of how rare it is. Now, these are both the same shade. They're both gold. What is that? Amber gold or just gold? Gold, huh? Now, the Northern Lights says Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Another unremarkable statement because most Canadian whiskeys have natural flavors added because most Canadian whiskeys are blended, and blended Canadian whiskey is allowed to have all sorts of flavors added. But it has to be, it's like wine, aged wine, or it could be rum or brandy or bourbon, things such as that. That's what's added to.
Remind me the percentage they can add. I forget. Is it 9%?
Well, now I want to say something, Whiskey Scott. Your audio seems muffled tonight. Just letting you know.
I'm on a different computer. I'm got the other computer doing another task, so this is as good as it's going to get. Okay,
I just wanted you to be aware of that. Okay, yeah. That's fine. I can still hear you then, so that's what counts.
Okay.
I just noticed it was different than.
I'll bring it closer.
I just noticed it was different than normal.
That's all right.
So it's 9.09%. But that's actually not the case. It's 9.09% max if people from other countries, importers, are asking for a certification statement. But apparently no one ever asked for that because either they're not aware that they can ask for a certificate, or they don't care.
Right.
So if there's no certificate issued or asked for, that limit doesn't apply. So it's kind of strange, huh? Now,
Yeah.
mix these up real fast. But in the United States, it's a lot stricter, because if you read the United States Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau website, it says they can have up to 2% blending sherry, or it might be 2.5. I can't quite remember. That's all it says, up to 2% blending sherry. It doesn't make any kind of allowances for other flavorings, from what I could tell from my reading. Okay, aroma. This one here seems to have that kind of honeycomb cereal smell, which John and Neely and I think is coming from rum that they might be adding to it, and that's making me think this is the Northern Lights. Neither one of these have an age statement, and I think we all know what that means. Almost certainly 3 years, and no, not a second longer. But that could be not, may not be the case. Aroma over here. I'm not going to go too long, so don't get impatient, y'all. The aroma over here, I'm getting a woodiness, almost even a smoky woodiness, which is strange, because with Canadian whiskey, you don't usually pick up any kind of char. There is a smoke. This must be the heir to the throne. Not that it will ever inherit a throne. And I believe this is the Natural Lights, the Northern Lights, which previously was known as the Northern Light, not plural. It was called the Northern Light, and then somehow it got changed to the Northern Lights. All right. Go ahead.
Aurora Borealis.
I'm blocking it.
Okay. Blind taste test. This is clearly the Northern Lights, because it has that very distinctive honeycomb flavor. You can pick up the corn. I would say sweet corn, or like almost candy corn. And there's also a noticeable rye spice, like a not black, what am I saying? Like yeah, like pepper, like black pepper, but you know, that rye, a peppery rye. I think it's very well put together. It's an inexpensive Canadian whiskey, but oh well, it still tastes good to me, and that's what counts. Now over here.
Yuppie.
Heir to the Throne has a pretty sharp wood. I guess you call that wood. Now they keep emphasizing oak casks. Well, all right. I'm just gonna wait, because there's a lot of rummaging around going on.
I'm good now. I'm good. Sorry, but my wife had to come down and get some stuff, and that just
rummaging around. What?
I'm not familiar with Omnibus, but I might do some more comic book videos. I don't know. Inman 40? No. Okay. Oh, What If? I have read some What Ifs. Yeah. Now,
You know, even Godzilla has a comic book about war.
yeah, I remember when that was out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good. So this one has a sharp wood, like I was saying earlier, a sharp wood aroma, flavor, and it's kind of, to me, it's kind of bitey. I was saying that from the second time I tried this whiskey, that it's like a kind of a harsh bite to it from that wood, and I'm not real thrilled with it. I rather the Northern Lights. A lot smoother, if you don't mind the candy sweetness. A lot more pleasant to me, and easygoing. It's just much more laid back, easygoing, mellow, mild, and relaxing. Whereas that Heir to the Throne is a little sharp, a little harsh, And it's really it's really a moot point because you're never going to see it anyway. So it's almost pointless to even do this taste challenge. But I'm going to check the tag, and I know it's going to say NL on it. NL, you know, Northern Lights, and of course it does, Northern Lights. So that's the clear winner in price, $9.99 versus $15.65 on a closeout, because it was about 23 bucks full price. And secondly, it's the winner on taste. So that's the end of my taste challenge. The Northern Lights, the clear winner. So we're going on to the third person who joined, and that's the Whiskey Scout, and he's going to tell us about this Tabasco, a barrel whiskey liqueur, which I wasn't particularly thrilled with, but John and Neely really liked.
All right. Well, it is the barrel finish, Tabasco barrel finish. And in small quantities, yes, it's okay. In a 50 mil, if you was to drink no more than this, I'm going to have chili later tonight. So this is really kind of a way to kind of prepare my palate in a way, because you do get a little bit of that chili note to this. I mean, it's unavoidable. It adds a little of an astringency and a little tanginess to your tongue. On the nose, you mostly get typical George Dickel number 8 whiskey. It's their definite. I mean, George Dickel only uses one mash bill. And so no matter whether you get the 8, the 12, the single barrels, this, I've only ever known them to use the one mash bill unless they're doing the rye. But they was originally having the rye done at MGP and then finishing it at Dickel itself through the Lincoln County process. Now, whether they're still doing that or not, I can't say. I don't know that for a fact. But me and the wife went there, not this last October, but the October before last. And I had this at the distillery in the tasting, and I thought it was interesting. So I purchased a couple of little 50 mils.
Do you recommend going to that distillery for a tour?
Oh, yeah. I'm a veteran, so I got to go through free. And if you're a veteran, definitely, go up there and they'll give you a free tour. I just had to pay for my wife's tour. Yes, I enjoyed the tour of the distillery. It was a blast. It's a beautiful little spot down in Tennessee. I mean, it's really an idyllic location. If you've ever thought about what a little distillery squirreled away up in the hills would be like. I mean, it's not like, Jack Daniels is neat too, but it's kind of more of an industrial feel to it than, I don't know. They're both industrial feels, but I don't know. Just, it's worth it, yes. Anyway, back to this.
Okay.
You do get the barrel finish on it. You do get an oakiness and a woodiness to it. You get some barrel sugars in this. But then you get that faint pepper. It's unavoidable. There is a pepper note to it. Now, don't think Tabasco sauce, because it doesn't taste like Tabasco sauce. It just has that pepper nose and feel to it.
Yeah, Tabasco sauce has that vinegar thing.
Yeah. And I don't really get that with this. And I've drank most of it, as we can tell. You get a little of the tanginess to the tongue. It brings that tanginess to it. I'm not going to say it's hot. Some people might perceive it as hot that are really susceptible to peppers and what hot things do. But to me, it's just a nice, very tangy feel to it. It doesn't. I can't say it balances out with the whiskey that well. I'm not going to say that, but it has enough sweetness in the whiskey itself. And I think it's due to the added. I think they probably added sugar to this. I can't be sure, but I bet they have. And that sugar kind of helps act as a conduit between the whiskey and the Tabasco. And you can kind of get that because you get the whiskey, then you get that kind of sweet, then it brings that Tabasco peppery flavor with it. Anyway, what would I give this as a rating? Are we doing ratings yet?
No, but you can rate it if you like.
As a rating, because I've had it before and I enjoy it to a certain extent, This is not a sit down and drink half a bottle kind of stuff. You would get sick on it. But in small quantities, I give it an 83, 84, 80, 83. We'll stick with an 83.
One of those perhaps buy it again items.
Yeah. If you're feeling like in a really odd, having a different experience with some friends, you just want to show them something new and different, this would be a fun one to buy. To sit down and buy it just to drink it again, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah.
Best I can do for you.
Well, that was my opinion also when we tried it. He really liked it and I wasn't too thrilled, but that's how it goes sometimes, right?
I mean, I finished it. I got no problem finishing it, but
right. Okay, now Shane tried to join, but he said his internet was probably going to fail, and it did, unfortunately, but he might be back. Here's the Massachusetts Bay Colony.
Whoops. Woo-hoo. Hello, people of the internet world and fellow drinkers around the world. The millions of you. I'm drinking Death Star, I should say that right. Death Star. This is from Revolution Brewing. It is a stout aged in bourbon barrels at 14.8%. It's from their Deep Wood series, limited edition. And I believe every year this is a change. The ABV will change. Kind of cool black top to it. Yeah. And they usually utilize some kind of, I almost said Confederate, communistic kind of look and feel, like old school Soviet, because, revolution. They say that this is a...
say some things about that. Okay, go on.
Barrel-aged Imperial oatmeal variety. So I poured it in the Teku glass, and the head that was there, this is a fine rim around the glass now, it literally fizzed away like a Coca-Cola. There is a slight amount of ruby red, but I mean slight. This thing is pitch black motor oil, basically. With that fine red collar of foam, and look how icky that thing looks. So you're getting a big punch of dark chocolate, dark soaked cherries, raisins, big amount of molassesy sweetness to it. Big 14.8. I mean, if you smell Bourbon County Stout, you're kind of in the ballpark for what this is going to smell like. Maybe some leathery, woody notes to it, but there's no. I mean, there is woody notes to it. Don't get me wrong, because it is in the American oak style barrels. But I'm not really getting a charred note or a smoky note to it. So not that in the nose, but let's see. I've only had one can so far, but let's see what it is like in the taste. Yes.
Don't drink too many. Please don't drink too many 14% beers tonight. Hey, Thrash Metal.
No, please do not do that.
What's up, Ron? How you doing, bud? What's up?
We're just drinking. Oh, we're fine. We're just drinking stuff.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Well, we was.
All right. That's Czar. It will definitely change in the glass when it gets towards room temperature. But, okay, there we go. Ooh, I got some flavors in the nose there. A little peppery. It's starting off really syrupy sweet. Not too bad. Not too overly sweet. But it has a syrupy complexion to the body. Full ass body there. Pardon my language. It's got a good carbonation. It's prickly on the tongue. It goes down fairly smooth for what it is with carbonation. It's not too harsh. What can I say? Very big amount of dark chocolate. There's some dark roasted coffee, not a whole bunch. There's not really a giant roastiness or a smokiness to it. I am getting vanilla and some of the oka nut notes from the barrel.
How much have you had to drink?
I like cocoa nuts.
Just what is that was it. It's so complex. There's a lot of stuff going on. Definitely sticky.
I
It's
remember when
semi-dry. It's actually semi-dry. It does have a drying quality. Not too much drying, but I would say semi-dry. And it's pretty sticky. I mean, if you've had barrel-aged stuff like Bourbon County Stout or a KBS, we're pretty much along the same lines of what you're getting from this beer. And it's a comparable price. I think this was 24 or was it $25.99 for the 4-pack. So it's the exact same comparable price to getting a CBS and getting a KBS. I would definitely recommend this beer for, in my palate, and maybe you'll agree with me, I like this beer better than the CBS, the Canadian Breakfast Stout, because it doesn't have that syrupy, sweet, overly. Oh, for me, that beer is almost overly sweet, and this one is not overly sweet. And also, before I shut up, if you don't really like or don't really want a smoky, kind of a ashy, if you will, flavor to your Imperial Stout, your barrel-aged stouts, this is the one to go for. So I'm saying 2 thumbs up so far, but I will come up with a number very soon.
Okay. Hey, Eric, remember when Lance Celeste joined us about a month ago and he had done a little bit too much pre-gaming and he, he couldn't get it together. He was like, I got to go. I'm sorry, y'all. And I was like, oh, man.
I think he drinks a lot of natural ice, maybe? I don't remember.
I think he was helping Natural Ice really promote their product, and then he came on with some other stuff, but
or
it wasn't working out.
It was one of the ice beers. Bush Ice, maybe?
Yeah. He even realized, it's like he was probably saying to himself, man, this is really incoherent. I got to get off of here. It was kind of funny in a way.
And raisin. Yeah. Good stuff.
Let's see. I understand if you have 3 children, it'd be hard to join, you know.
Well, yeah. Well,
all right, now
if Krampus was there to help her out, the kids would be quiet, you know.
They'd be dead.
Right, Krampus. Krampus might appear one night on Fandango.
Yeah, it's a good disciplinarian tool. Oh, he's a can opener.
Live from Colorado. Hey, good old modern classic.
Always a good go-to.
Because what the hell not?
Ooh, that looks nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When you get enough, you can pour it.
Well, there's your perfect pour, if I've ever seen one.
Bum, 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 bum.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
America. Fuck you.
All right. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Do I have to say anything? Has everyone had it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it. It's been a while.
Okay. So it's a really good pale ale, and I think it is more in line towards an IPA than a pale ale. I think you all understand why.
Certainly generously hopped with stuff.
Yeah, they have some good hoppers in here.
Hopping with flavor.
Nice and clear. Nice copper, golden copper. Yeah.
Well, I remember the first time I tried that beer. It tasted so good.
Mm-hmm. It's very refreshing, especially if it's really cold, you know?
You still want to taste it.
Oh, it's got that pine note to it, but it's not overwhelming, you know? And it's got that bite to it, like biting into a pine tree, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Yeah,
But it's not an overwhelming bitterness, which is what I really like about it. So, yeah.
It's good advice from dentists. Bite into a pine tree, folks.
Right. Cheers.
That's pretty funny. Cheers to you.
You know what's even cool? What's cool about this beer is that I have boys over for Christmas, so I have all my boys home, and they went out and got me beer. I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Tastes even better now.
Even better. Better than butter. Free beer is the best beer.
I always did ascribe to that concept.
Yup.
Cheers to you. Now we're going to go back to James P. Madonna of the Garden State, and he's going to tell us. He's going to give us scores for his. Now keep sipping. She's not a big fan of piney.
This one is really light on the pine, so I think you might like it, Trish. It's not like a hot bomb where you're eating a pine cone. It's none of that. It's there, and it's an accent if you want to play that way.
It's a lot milder than Torpedo.
Yeah,
in
it's
other
very
words.
mild. Yeah.
She probably wouldn't like Torpedo. Huh?
No, Torpedo is really that's got some big pine in it. Yeah, I do like that one too when I want a really good IPA. So, what's up, James?
Well, pine, I like anything piney because it has pycnogenol, which is a very powerful antioxidant, like stronger than grapeseed extract or whatever.
Oh, you got the Kraken.
Pycnogenol, a Canadian native indigenous people used it as it made tea out of the pine, and it is really very medicinal. So I'll consume a lot of pine. Anyway, back to Kraken. Release the Kraken, the big calamari. I could definitely smell the molasses, a little vanilla. And as far as black rums go, and this is spiced black rum, I'm going to give this 100.
Wow.
Out of 100. And now let me taste the old Italian geezer's wine. Hold on. All right. Now, the old Italian geezer's wine is the mystery man. I do not know him. Don't know what his name is. Never met him. All I know is he makes it for my brother-in-law every year. And it's heavy-duty red wine. Hopefully he don't have fungi in between his toes and he doesn't squash the grapes with his feet.
Well, usually that's what brings the best taste out, James. Come on.
Oh, is that what that taste was? A little fungi, a little yeast,
fungi,
like brewer's yeast, except this is toe cheese yeast. No, it's really. I know it got me, it got everyone buzzed fast, and it's definitely dark. I mean,
as long as you don't have toenails in the bottom of the bottle, you're all right, man.
Yup.
Yeah, it's really great dark wine.
It reminds me of that Tail of Madeira.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a dessert wine. It's like a Chianti or a Shiraz.
Yeah.
Or
serve that at church.
You know what? Too bad there's not that many people that make this homemade stuff anymore. I know. Was it Mr. Fudge that did some home brewing at one time?
Oh, I do it. I make wine.
And it was a success. Oh, wine. I mean, like they have beer kits too for beer.
Yeah.
Inman, yes. Inman, the answer is yes. They still make it. Okay.
So, okay. Well, as far as homemade wine, this is the second one I have had. And I give it a 98% out of 100 because the other one I had at someone's barbecue party, also made from an old Italian geezer, I gave that 100% out of 100 because that was really actually more robust than this and more intoxicating. But this is pretty decent. It's not stronger than any Carlo Rossi or anything you find in in a liquor store. Okay, that's it for me.
So, James, how much would it cost for you to go get one of those shot glasses that you have and send it to me?
Well, my sister got it for me when she went to some place off in the Gulf
so it wasn't local.
Yeah, Sarasota, Florida, Anna Maria Island. It was a touristy thing.
Okay, cool.
I can ask her if she still has the original box. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. It says Anna Maria Island, Florida, all the way on the bottom. So
I bet you could find it on the internet. Never mind.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really like that shot glass. I've seen you use it quite a few times.
Well, because it's unique and and it's got big jugs.
That's right.
That's the only reason why. If I had small jugs, I wouldn't use it.
Well, more than mouthfuls of, it's a shot glass.
Yeah, tell me something. That's a fascinating question. for this New Year's Eve Fandango. Small breasts produce the same amount of lactation as large breasts. And
Trish?
I always wondered, like
Anything goes, Jay. Anything goes.
You are digging a deep hole there, buddy.
That's right. If anyone knows that, please leave a comment in the chat.
I never had hold on, backwoods Billy. I've never had Italian grappa, but my grandfather said it was quite potent hard liquor. It's made from the seeds, I believe, of the grape. He was telling me distilling of the seeds.
I'm back. Thank you, James P. Madonna. Now listen, folks. There's in the United States, this only applies to the United States due to the United States government law. There's two types of wine, basically. There's dessert wine and table wine. Dessert wine is any wine above 14.0% alcohol. Table wine is below 14. Now, in other countries, Europe, okay, different story. We're not in Europe. So if you're drinking a wine, if James is drinking a wine that is above 14, he's drinking dessert wine. If it's below 14, it's table wine. That's the cut and dry of it for the United States of America. Now, like I said, in other countries, it's a different story. All right, now I've often wondered that question. I often wondered about that question too, James, and I think the answer is probably yeah, it's the same. Now, anyway, yeah,
really, the lactation is coming from the mammary itself, not the nipple. She has small breasts and gigantic. It doesn't come from.
It's just getting deeper, man.
I'm not a scientist, so I really don't know. But
I thought you were a scientist. Oh, damn it!
No, man, I taught history. I taught history and government, not science.
It's like Red Fox used to wine Ripple with champagne. They call it sham pipple. He used to say that.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, brother.
I could tell you about the Holy Roman Empire a little bit, but not.
All right, hold on. Grappa. Did you know that vermouth was originally a medicinal wine from the Middle Ages? I didn't know it. Milk give you big hooters. Once, like any mammal, once you stimulate the nipple once, and if you continue to stimulate it, it produces milk till the woman dies.
Holy smokes, we are really running down a rabbit hole.
And anyway, speaking of milk, Ryan's Irish Cream, was that the one I brought instead of Bailey?
Yeah, that sounds like
J and Thomas Middle 75.
Yeah, I remember that brand.
Ryan's RY. I was trying to remember.
Yep.
As long as we mentioned lactation, I just thought of the Irish Cream liqueur.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried one called McCormick's Irish Cream, and my daughter and myself did a video, and we liked it. I don't know what she did with the rest of it. I meant to ask her today, did she drink the rest? I wish I could have had more than just a little itsy bitsy taste.
Yeah.
Not a teeny weeny taste, but itsy bitsy taste.
We're talking about lactating. I like Bailey's as well.
Well, I would say
Bailey's.
Ryan's is better. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I mean, it could be.
I like St. Brendan's. I think they're good.
Snob on Bailey's. What?
I've never had Ryan's. I've never had Bailey's. I've only had bourbon cream, McCormick's. All right, now to finish up my exhibition.
Expose.
Thomas.
I didn't even score mine. Did everybody else score theirs?
Yeah, we're coming back to you.
Okay.
Well, the Northern Lights is the clear winner here. I finished up the glass. It was in the A range, not high A. I mean, at the most 93. There's Bill with beer hounds beer. Hey, Bill, welcome. This one's a good taste in whiskey. If you're a bourbon drinker, though, you might think, "Oh my goodness, what is this stuff?" Because it tastes nothing like bourbon. The Heir to the Throne. I'm sorry, it's too harsh, and I might even drop it to a C+. honestly. I don't have but about 35% left, and that's about 30% too much. But I'll finish it, and I'll try to keep a good attitude with it. But when it's gone, I won't miss it. I'm going to assure you. So,
How much was that, Ron?
Well, it was on closeout. It was about $30, but they had it for $15.65.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
$15.65. But the winner was only $9.99. You know.
Oh, wow.
And on closeout, it was $4.75 on the second bottle. Okay, let's see.
Now, wouldn't it be funny if everybody got big boob shot glasses and we formed a cult of this becomes a trademark?
Yeah, but mine wouldn't be covered.
Hey, you know what? This Dollar Tree wine glass has a really nice sound to it. I didn't realize it. It's
Yeah, I like mine too. And if I ever started a cult and somebody differed with me about processed cheese, I would kick you out the cult and I would stalk you and never forgive you. All right,
processed cheese. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. My mystical buddy that is a tarot card expert, Mr. Damian Owens, has programs that gathered more information about the red feathered demon. So if he shows up Sunday night, it's gonna be like Bela Lugosi sticking his fangs.
It's going to be 2011 all over again. Oh crap!
Oh yes, gotta love
my
it.
attitude actually is just let it go. Okay, now the Whiskey Scout's going to give us a score, and Thomas Meadows going to give us a score.
Yeah,
Brash is going to give us a score. Pretty soon, I'm going to get off and go watch some football. All right.
I think I gave it an 83 already, if I remember correctly. But that's what I'm
That's right.
to.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. A possible buy again, but
it's something interesting to try. I don't know if I would make a habit out of drinking it, but that's my final thought.
the only one I have from George Dickel is called Cascade Hollow.
The 12, the 8 is okay. I know the 8's not okay. The 8's doable, but the 12 is the actual really good one.
Yeah.
When you get up into the single barrel stuff, some of it's good, some of it's not. So it all depends on the barrel.
I have the Cascade Hollow, but I only paid $8.99 for a liter of it.
Hey, I got one.
whoa!
I don't know how much I paid. It wasn't too dang much, but I got one of those
$8.99.
too.
Dang, man, that sounds good. I do like a George Dickel rye over Jim Beam and the Jack Daniel's stuff though, for its price point.
Yeah, George Dickel's good. George Dickel rye is excellent stuff.
I like that. I've had that a couple of times in my life.
Man's right.
Bourbon and Scotch fan in the house, so I get to try some stuff. And sometimes I buy it. Sometimes I buy the bourbon barrel aged Death Star. Keep wanting to pronounce it as if it were Soviet or Russian in name. Death Star.
Oh, Comrade Thomas Meadows. Yes.
Yeah, so you have to think about beers like this. It's not your average beer drinking experience. It's not going to drink, obviously, like pale ale, IPA, lager, or adjunct American style like lagers, Vienna lagers, wit beers.
Well, we know
all different drinking experience, and you have to put yourself in that mindset. And if you poured this beer and you told me, here's a drink, yeah, it almost tastes like a drink more than it does a beer in my eyes, but it does have a really dark roasted maltiness to it, but it's really not smoky at all, which, to be completely honest, I kind of wish it did have a little bit of more barrel char to it, but I'm getting vanilla and the coconut and the higher ABV of bourbon and some of those bourbony tannins and qualities from the barrel. So yeah, it does remind me of bourbon barrel aged, but I just wish it had more smoky, toasty oakiness to it.
So what's your score?
It is smoother and richer when it warms, so that's helping the score. I think a 92 is appropriate for this beer. I really, really, really do like this beer. It's 14.8%. It doesn't really drink very hot, but it does creep up somewhat fast on you. That's my those two things are my main complaint. The alcohol is a little bit too high for my normal liking and not smoky enough. But 92 at $25.99 for the 4-pack. Decide if you
That's
like
not great of a deal.
twice in your life.
Yeah, that's kind of. I'd be kind of aggravated if I paid A+. No, I'd be aggravated if I paid world class prices and got an A- beer. But that's me.
I definitely think, bar none, from my past experiences, it is at least as good or just as comparable to
CBS.
standard original variant of Goose Island Bourbon Stout. So it plays
Okay. All right.
perfectly. Yes.
All right. And I have a bottle in my fridge that I need to review. 2019. I got it for $10.99 for the 500 ml.
Cheers.
That's all right. That's all right. And man, we got stuff you can't get probably. Cheers to you, Eric.
You forgot to say stickiness. Oh,
It definitely has a nice stickiness around the rim of the
Ready. All right. Pale ale from Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, 5.6%. Forgot to say that.
It's okay.
Cheers. Yeah. This is kind of a go-to beer that I get every once in a while. And the drinkability is there. You can, I mean, it's sessionable for me. I mean, I can go through a 6-pack a night pretty easy with this stuff. It's great over the lips, through the mouth, and to the tummy, you know. But it's not the best beer I've ever had. I would give this thing at least a 90, just getting into the A range. It's not the most perfect beer, but it's one of the go-to beers that I go to. Cheers.
So you said 93?
A 90.
Oh, 90. Well, that's still good. That's good when you consider the price point.
It's got good lacing on it. I mean, it's got great malt taste to it too. So,
I
yeah.
just realized I could play this wine glass like a xylophone. Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
xylophone. Oh, I guess kind of a xylophone.
Afternoon delight. Big nip.
What do you think, Whiskey Scout? Fandango Friday. What do you think about that?
What about
It's
coming up or this one?
anything goes. That's the only rule.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
Wild Wednesday.
Actually, this show was a compromise show because when I came up with the idea, it was supposed to be wackier than it has been. Much.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucked up Friday.
Well, we got to pick up the pace because I got to go to a chili thing with Alex here in a minute.
Okay. We're finished, Whiskey Scout. Now it's time
Alex.
Pop Tarts.
And James P. McDonough, James P. McDonough, I'm very buttoned down, so
Yeah.
that's why he has After Dark. But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
in New Jersey.
No, I had to be honest because they asked about the fandango-ness of Fandango, and I says, well, we fandangoed our way into a compromise.
Do what you want, how you want.
You know, it was a little family-oriented humor, with the exception of nipples. But that's
But nipples are always good.
Yeah, I find no wrong with that.
yeah. But
and all of these guys that are saying all that are almost out of 10th grade anyway. So
We tried.
Oh, I'm still in 9th grade.
is that Mr. Red? Like Wilbur, a horse is a horse, of course. Oh,
No,
I'm a
that's my
9th grader with
daughter. That's my
167
new
hours
daughter.
of college credit.
oh, he was a white horse, I think, Mr. Red.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I think I can put someone like Wilbur up.
No.
There you go.
Where's my? Oh no, he's.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, that's
Wilbur, come in the room.
Wilbur.
okay,
And we're going south in a hurry.
if you want some, yeah, you're right. We've been going. If you want some exciting news, tomorrow morning early, gotta get up early, folks. So get your sleep. Tomorrow morning, before dawn, We're going to do a dawn. It'll be dawn by the time I finish. But we're going to do a rum taste challenge. It's going to be a tie. Here's my Old English 800 nightcap. Yeah.
There you go.
You should wear Ebenezer Screw's nightcap with the pom pom in the end. Remember?
But tomorrow is a white rum taste challenge. It's going to be Ron Pontalba White versus Bocador, and then next Wednesday, but it'll probably be done on Tuesday because I don't think I'll have time Wednesday. But Tuesday afternoon, more than likely, it'll be Ron Pontalba versus Captain Morgan White. And then next Wednesday is Wild Card Wednesday, but it's not going to be a wild card. It's going to be winter beers. Winter beers. Any beer that you think is appropriate for wintertime. Oh, I've had that one, F.A.
What if you're bare ass in the snow drinking it? Would that be appropriate for winter?
Well, in my mind, no, because in my mind, it would be a beer that's made for winter, like Samuel Adams or Winter Lager.
It is all right.
I never see Old Fezzy Week in the stores.
All right, let's wrap this up. I think Whiskey Stout's going to be taken out.
Stout.
I said Stout.
Scout. He's got.
I don't know if you're listening,
man. Alex is
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, we've been talking lactate all night, so
Alex is talking about peanut brittle or something or Cracker Jack.
Hey, Joey.
People had this.
Peanut brittle.
People had this fixation tonight. When y'all run along, y'all make sure that when you go to the chili event, that you put some cream cheese in that chili because we want some dairy products in that chili. Now, boom.
No, I'll put sour cream. Sour cream, a little bit of chive, some cheese.
Cream cheese
I
would
like
work.
Sour cream. I have to say sour cream. I have to say sour cream. Oh well.
You gotta be different.
StreamYard covers up
Limburger.
Oh, that would be a funky tart.
I've been thinking about buying some more Limburger, actually. Well, y'all go join your chili extravaganza. James is going to close this out with a musical selection.
Happy New Year 2020. I've had imported Limburger cheese from Germany, and it smells like babies' diapers, dirty ones.
So Thai food, all right.
Tastes great.
Afternoon delight.
Afternoon delight. Hard nipple delight.
Limburgers in flight. James P. McDonald's.
Don't hit your teeth with that.
No, I bend my lip over.
Caw.
And
Rodan and Godzilla. Happy New Year, jabronis.
yeah, Happy New Year to y'all out there. Yeah.
Don't try.
Hope 2020 kicks you in the ass like 2019 did.
Yeah.
The hard liquor project is not going to end. I'm going to keep doing hard liquor. I've got Johnny Walker Red Label. I got Johnny Walker Blue Label. I got John Barr. I got so much stuff. All right. Thanks, folks.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy New Year, you.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome. Anytime. Everyone is welcome on this channel, but unfortunately, we only let 6 at a time due to
X at a time. What do you say?
Format constraints. Get ready for
Sunday night. Age, mysticism, and health with me and Damian Owens from Progressive Discussions.
Right.